Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Friday, April 26th. I'm Michael Taylor. Are you ready for the weekend? We should have a dry one. It should be pretty okay. We're going to actually warm up next week. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in the forecast, but right now, let's talk about what we have on our show today. And we got a good one for you. Third Mutual Board update with Jim Cook. He's here. He's ready to go. He's got all sorts of good stuff to talk to us about. And Sports Corner of Active Week in Sports. Lakers. Hope we don't dwell on that. But lots of stuff going on in sports, and Cole Young's going to bring that all to us. Hey, got something important to talk to you about, and that is going to be how you dispose of your expired prescription drugs or ones you're not taking anymore. Please do not flush them down the toilet. They get in the water supply. There's trace elements of that when there was recycled water. So there is a prescription take-back going on, and it's going to be tomorrow over in Laguna Woods City Hall from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's free. It's anonymous. No questions asked. Just don't bring things like sharp needles if you're diabetic and other kinds of things like that. But it's whatever prescriptions you may have around the house that you were thinking to yourself, oh, these are expired or I'm not taking these anymore. Go ahead and drop those off and they'll dispose of them properly. Any questions on that? You can call the number at the bottom of your screen. Let's take a look outside while we're at it, and it's got some partly cloudy this morning, and hopefully these clouds are going to burn off a little bit and give us a little more sunshine in the afternoon, we're hoping, and that trend is going to continue. We're going to get rid of the drizzle that we've been having, and we're going to head towards a little bit drier and a little bit warmer week for next week. Sunday's going to be the start of that. It's going to clear out, and hopefully we're going to get to sunnier skies, and we'll see about that. But pretty good temperatures out there in the low 70s. We'll get to maybe the mid 70s by next week. Let's take a look at our sunrise and our sunset. And this is, I took this picture over in Crystal Cove, and this little thing looks like a piece of trash on the beach, but it isn't. It's a velea. They're so nice, they named it twice. It's these little creatures that float on top of the ocean and just feed on top of the ocean. They've been washing up on shore. They come up blue, but they lose their pigment, and they look like little clear pieces of plastic. And so they're all over the beaches. We've been noticing them. And so if you're down there taking a walk at the beach and you see these things, that's what they are. Our sunrise this morning was 6:06. Sunset tonight, 7:30. If you'd like to send us a picture, if you have cool pictures at the beach, other sunrise, sunset, anywhere around here in Laguna Woods Village, go ahead and send us a picture. We'd love to use it in our sunrise sunset segment. Email us, lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Make sure you include your name and where you took the photo, and we will put it right here on This Day. All right, we got no meetings to tell you about, but we have a mini meeting with Jim Cook and third update. That'll be next.
We promise to meet you with an open heart and curious mind. To never have the answers before we've heard your story. Because you are not everyone else, and healthcare is not one size fits all. Highest performing hospital, top ranked physicians, 50 convenient locations, right here in Orange County. You, empowered by Hoag.
Hi, my name is Gary Russell, and I recently have moved to Laguna Woods Village. At Live Smart Technologies, we specialize in three things: home automation, simple security systems, and home computer networks. We are knowledgeable, very affordable, and genuinely want to help you. In the coming weeks, we will be talking more about how these amazing systems can benefit just about everyone. We provide free estimates and will schedule an on-site walkthrough at your convenience. Give us a call.
You may know AgeWell for delivering life-saving Meals on Wheels to homebound seniors, but did you know they keep seniors active and engaged at 10 modern centers? Serve nutritious congregate meals amid friendly surroundings, transport seniors safely to and from appointments, and provide much-needed equipment and other essential services. Now, this vital nonprofit organization needs your support to sustain its mission. This is AgeWell Senior Services. Won't you make it yours?
We always want to welcome Jim Cook to our set, and we only have 5 more months with him before his term expires. So Third Laguna Hills Mutual is, it's time for an update. Thanks for coming in, Jim.
You're welcome.
And you guys have you're on the committee on this broadband bulk billing committee, and you've been doing a lot of work on this. So tell us about what this is and what it means for residents.
Well, basically, we have bulk billing, and what that does is it really cuts down what we have to pay. We don't know why the FCC has gone this direction, and what's
And they have a proposal to ban bulk billing, basically.
Right.
The FCC is considering this.
And basically, they've always been much more pro-consumer, and this is really kind of an anti-consumer. What it could do is it could actually increase our fees by triple.
Okay.
And so this year was 4.5 million, so you're looking at $13.5 million. So we really, really, really want to encourage all the residents of the village. This doesn't just apply to Third, it applies to the whole village, to contact their representatives and just to make them understand that if you call, it counts like 1 vote. If you email, it counts like 10 votes. But if you actually send a letter, even if it's a letter that's been produced by someone, it counts like 100 votes.
Right,
So
that's the way they think in terms of the constituencies, right?
It carries much more weight. And so we have all these places where you can contact. If you refer to last week's What's Up in the Village, you can get links to make it easier to contact your representatives. Makes it much easier to do. Also, Mark Laws, probably in his next email, is going to put the actual email addresses, because people have been asking for those.
Okay.
But we need to go beyond just the Congresswoman Kim and Senator Padilla. If you go to the next slide,
Sure.
we really need to hit the FCC commissioners, the House subcommittee, and the Senate subcommittee, because they are the ones who actually deal with the FCC commissioners. And these commissioners are appointed by someone, and if it ruffles the feathers of the people that appointed them, they say, hey, maybe you should rethink this, because really the people that really vote in the senior communities that are going to be extremely affected by this, those are your constituents that you don't want to upset in an election year.
Yes, exactly. Yes, we'll hit them from all angles. Write a letter, send an email, and make a phone call.
That's it. That's it. Hit them every way you can.
That's terrific. All right, so we understand that it is a big deal, and costs will go through the roof for folks to be able to use that stuff if that change doesn't come. It should stay as it is.
If
they make the change,
happens,
right.
Yeah.
If the new rule goes into effect, it's going to be a problem for folks in terms of their access and the costs, right?
Right.
Okay. Asbestos abatement process. You guys have been soliciting. We've been soliciting residents for advice and ideas and questions and information.
Yeah, what's happened is we originally were going to have a meeting with AQMD, but somehow AQMD backed out of it. I don't know if they didn't want to get the stones thrown at them while they were here. But we're at a stricter type of arrangement with asbestos, because the state of California, where you live in a multifamily unit like we do, condominiums, the rules are much more strict than a single family home.
Right.
And so there's a lot of things about that make it very expensive for anybody when they want to do alterations. So we're encouraging people to send in their questions, send in their feedback. I'm still not sure if AQMD is going to show up, but at least the city and the village people will be there. And if you look at the screen in front of you, you can if you email it to alterations@vmsinc.org, you got to get it in by Monday. That's only 3 days away. Include asbestos in the subject line and ask your questions or give your feedback, because that's what we want to work with to be able to, if AQMD shows up,
right.
But hopefully the city can answer some of these questions. And again, it's the state that's mandating this. It's the city that is enforcing it. And we have stepped away from it at the village and pushed it back to the city, where the responsibility really lies.
Yeah, and you're not an enforcement arm in the first place. You oversee these things, you make the rules, but they also have to comply with what the city and the state is going to require folks, right?
Yes, and I've actually talked to a contractor the other day and said, hey, am I helping to improve things with alterations? And he says, what's really helped is all the asbestos going just to the city, because you only have to deal with it once.
Okay, yeah. So hopefully we'll get some more streamlined. Hopefully you guys some answers on that. we have these fun community tour experiences going on in video. Used to have docents, and now we have this change that's come along.
Right, and so what you really need to say is this community tour experience is the old docent tour, but it's done on video in about a 20-minute presentation. It's done very well, and not only for the new people coming in, not only for marketing, but also for the old-time residents. Take a look at it and remind yourself what's here for you to be able to participate in, what all is inclusive within the community.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes people just don't get out and about enough. I remember a silly example, but I was at a resort once, and I didn't realize they had a whole other section that we hadn't even visited, like, for the whole week. Like, where has this been? You know, because we just kind of stayed in our little area. So I think that can happen with folks, right?
And that happens with the people here, where they say, "What do you mean we have a restaurant?"
Right.
We have Restaurant 19. Oh, I didn't know we had a restaurant.
Right.
You know, it's kind of funny that people who've lived here a long time don't realize everything that's here. When people first get here, they seem to pay attention a little bit more, but then they forget. So all it is on the home page, see where it says Community Tour Experience there in purple. All you have to do is click on that, and you get this 20-minute video showing you the whole village, and it's very representative of what's here. You can also go to, again, I refer to Mark Law's emails, because he puts a lot of information out, does a lot of stuff that helps. And so if you go to his email for April 23rd, you can click the link on there that says Connection and Pathways. And I don't know if I can hold this up somehow where somebody can see it. But
I don't know if everybody can see that, but it's a lot of good info on there.
There's a Connection and Pathways, and it gives you a lot of information. And you can pick one of these up at the community center in the racks, but you can also click on the link on Mark's email.
If you have the digital version of that, you can click on the links there and find it yourself.
And then you could print it up yourself, put it on your refrigerator. It gives you some information.
Yeah.
By the same token, if you want to get to this community tour experience, that link is also on Mark's last week's email, and you just click on that. So we're trying to make things much, much easier to get to the information, so that you'll know what's going on in the village.
Take a tour right from the comfort of your own home, and then get out there and check out some things maybe you've never checked out before. Good ideas. VMS is looking for representatives from the 3rd.
Yes. We've had 2 people that have left for personal reasons. One's actually moving out of the country, so it's kind of hard to commute from there. Anyway, the term, one term will end in December of 2024. The second term ends in the December of 2025. And so these are just partial terms. And then after those terms end, then there'll be people to be reelected by the board. The board is who elects their people to represent. There's 9 people on the VMS board, 3 from 3rd, 3 from United, and 3 from GRF. So right now we're down to 1.
Okay.
And so what you need to do is you pick up an application packet starting May 3rd, Friday, May 3rd, which is next week. And you'll be able to pick those up until Wednesday, May 22nd. They have to be in. They have to be hand delivered. Emails are not accepted.
Okay.
And you just go to the community center at the concierge down there, and the corporate secretary will come down to provide the application. Okay. The interview of candidates and selection of the VMS board members will be on Friday, May 31st, 10 a.m. to noon, and that'll be in the community center boardroom. It'll be the 11 members of the 3rd board of directors that will elect our representatives of VMS.
And what are folks getting themselves into if they want to explore this opportunity? What do you do on the VMS board as a member of 3rd?
Okay. Well, they don't necessarily have to be a member of 3rd, but generally we do appoint someone from 3rd. The VMS is governed by a 9-member volunteer board. I already explained that.
Sure.
Services provided define a written management agreement with each of its 3 members. And the 3 members of the management agreement are 3rd, United, and GRF. All directors have to be resident owners. and they can't serve on any other village board at the same time they're serving on VMS. The VMS board actually appoints the CEO general manager, and the general manager oversees 800 employees approximately.
Right.
Finance, maintenance, construction, general services, broadband, landscaping, recreation. And so they're much a policy-making entity, just like Third. You know, they, have to really push forward. What we're looking for in Third is people with business background, management background, but sometimes it comes down, beggars can't be choosers.
Right.
Sometimes we just have to get a warm body.
Because it is the VMS part of the board is really the services that VMS is providing. So you're looking at vendors, you're looking at the maintenance, you're looking at a lot of things that are business oriented, right?
Yes. So they're not down in the nuts and the bolts, but
Right.
they're in the overseeing the people that are handling the nuts and the bolts.
Right.
And they're overseeing them through the CEO. But again, it's some time, but I don't think it's anywhere near the amount of time it is to be a member of a board of directors of one of the mutuals. And again, people that are coming in, we want to encourage some of the younger people coming in here. They come in, maybe they're 55, they're already retired, they're out of business. Maybe they can get a little bit bored and want to do something.
That is the thing. It's like, I just don't know what to do with myself. I used to get 50 emails a day, and now I'm down to 2.
Yeah, so a lot of times it's a matter of you actually can keep yourself healthy and brain healthy by participating and functioning. And it's not all day, every day, but it's something that gives you a reason to get up in the morning.
There you go. All right. Last 30 seconds or so, give me the pitch that you would tell somebody why they should serve on one of the boards.
You should serve on the boards because you as a board member help to control what the costs are. You help to control the quality of life here. You help to enforce the rules that make it better for everyone. You have to consider that in Third, 67% of our legal fees go to deal with less than 1% of our population. And so we want to make sure that we make people educated as to what the rules are, because otherwise it just makes it havoc to have to raise your fees, your monthly fees.
To deal with those things.
To deal with that type of stuff.
All right, Jim Cook, Third Laguna Hills United Mutual, whatever it might be.
Third Laguna Hills Mutual.
So many words. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Sports Corner's next. Stay with us.
Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome back to this Friday's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and since I was gone last week, there's a lot to catch up on. So let's get right to it. Starting with golf, the 88th Masters Tournament at Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia, came to a close on Sunday the 14th. Thursday through Saturday, the leaderboard was a tight race, with several golfers being tied for first place throughout the weekend. Scotty Scheffler, Max Homa, Ludwig Åberg, Colin Morikawa, Bryson DeChambeau, Tommy Fleetwood, and more all had a chance to take home the green jacket entering the final round. But after a few tough holes on Sunday, some of the players' scores dropped, except for one. Scotty Scheffler ran away with the tournament on the back nine of the final round. Scheffler carded a final round 4 under 68 at Augusta National Golf Club for an 11 under total, 4 strokes clear of Ludwig Åberg, who finished second. Scheffler earned his second green jacket in the past 3 years and his 9th PGA Tour title. The reigning Masters champion then became the first player since Tiger Woods to win 4 times in a 5-tournament run when he came out on top of the RBC Heritage earlier this week at Harbor Town Golf Links in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. It should come as no surprise that Scheffler is the current #1 golfer in the world, and it seems like he'll hold that position for at least a little while. This past week was also the start of playoffs for the NHL and NBA. Here's a look at the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs bracket. Our local LA Kings are starting their playoff journey against the Edmonton Oilers, and Edmonton opened up the series with a whopping 7-4 victory over the Kings. In Game 2 on Wednesday night, Anze Kopitar scored 2 minutes and 7 seconds into overtime to give the LA Kings a 5-4 win against the Oilers and tying the series at 1-1. Game 3 will be tonight at 7:30. The Carolina Hurricanes and New York Islanders series has been must-watch TV so far. Carolina took Game 1 3-1, then jumped out to a 2-0 series lead Monday night after a wild Game 2. The Canes were down 3-2 with a little under 3 minutes remaining in the third period. Carolina proceeded to score twice in 9 seconds, followed by another goal just a minute later, completing the 3-goal comeback and defeating the Islanders 5-3 and taking a 2-0 series lead. Game 3 was last night, and the Canes are now 1 game away from completing the sweep after another victory. A powerhouse matchup of the Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning has been electric so far. Florida narrowly outlasted Tampa Bay in Game 1, winning 3-2. Game 2 was no different, as a 2-2 tie sent the Lightning and Panthers into overtime. Overtime didn't last too long, though, when a goal by Carter Verhaeghe 2 minutes and 59 seconds into overtime would give the Panthers a 3-2 victory, bringing the series to 2-0 with Florida in the lead. Game 3 of this series was also last night, and the Panthers earned a win on the road in Tampa and are 1 game away from completing the sweep. Another major matchup to watch is the reigning champion Vegas Golden Knights taking on the top-ranked Dallas Stars. Vegas was able to pick up a huge victory in Game 1, followed by Game 2 Wednesday night, where Jack Eichel and Jonathan Marchessault each had a goal and an assist for the Vegas Golden Knights, who extended their lead in the first round with a 3-1 win against the Dallas Stars. Here's a look at the schedule for the remainder of the weekend. Tonight, we get treated to 4 big games, including the Kings fighting for another win in Game 3 with the Oilers at, like I said, 7:30 p.m. Saturday and Sunday are loaded with action and big matchups as well. And I say it every year, but playoff hockey truly is one of the greatest spectacles in sports, so be sure to tune in to as many games as possible throughout the entire Stanley Cup playoffs. If I had to make any predictions, I'd say Florida looks pretty close to unbeatable, but it would be cool to see Connor McDavid and Edmonton hoist the Stanley Cup for the first time since 2006. If you aren't watching the NHL playoffs, then you've probably been watching the NBA playoffs. So far, it's been hard to watch for our local Lakers. In their first 2 games, the Lakers held a lead over the Denver Nuggets for at least 2 or 3 quarters. But those leads were blown in the end, and the reigning champion Denver Nuggets have continued their dominance, including a buzzer-beater shot by Jamal Murray to win Game 2 for Denver. Game 3 was last night, and the Nuggets are yet again 1 game away from sweeping the Lakers and advancing to the next round after a victory in LA in Game 3. The winner of this series will go on to face the winner of the Phoenix Suns and Minnesota Timberwolves. That series currently sits with the T-Wolves up 2-0 after they won both games by double-digit margins. Game 3 will be tonight. The other California team, the 4-seed Clippers, are in a battle with the Dallas Mavericks. LA set the tone in Game 1, coming away with a 109-97 victory over the Mavericks behind a 28-point performance from James Harden. The Mavericks evened the series at 1-1 after a 96-93 win on Tuesday night. Kyrie Irving had 23 points and Luka Doncic had 32, spoiling Kawhi Leonard's return to the court after not playing for the Clippers since March 31st. Game 3 will be tonight at 5 p.m. Today is also Game 3 of the Bucks and Pacers series, and after the Bucks beat the Pacers by 15 in Game 1, Indiana got their revenge in Game 2. The Pacers scored a plethora of points and walked away with a 125-108 win over Milwaukee to even the series. Pascal Siakam led the way again for the Pacers, dropping 37 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. Siakam is the first NBA player to open a postseason with consecutive 35-point, 10-rebound performances since Wilt Chamberlain in 1967. Like I said, Game 3 is today at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Then on Saturday, we will see the matchup of the number 1 Celtics continuing their series against Miami, the Cavs and Magic squaring off in Game 4, the top-seeded Thunder heading to New Orleans, and the night will end with the Nuggets and Lakers. If I had to make a prediction, I would have to say I believe the Nuggets and Celtics will be the last 2 teams remaining in the finals. There's playoff hockey and basketball every day for the next few weeks, so like I said, be sure to watch as much as you can. Sticking with basketball, the WNBA draft took place earlier last week, and as a surprise to literally no one, Caitlin Clark was the first overall pick and will play for the Indiana Fever. A few of the other major players from this year's March Madness bracket were also selected in the first round, like South Carolina's Camila Cardoso and LSU's Angel Reese, both being picked up by the Chicago Sky with the 3rd and 7th picks, respectively. Chicago is already looking to be a team to beat in the WNBA next season. Last, and certainly not least, continuing on with drafts, yesterday was finally the first round of the NFL Draft. I said it before, but this year I truly had no clue what would happen in day 1 of the draft. Other than Caleb Williams being the clear choice for the Bears at number 1, it was basically anyone's guess what would happen after that. It got even weirder when the Broncos made some odd moves before the draft, like trading for former Jets quarterback Zach Wilson. That further confused myself, and I'm sure a lot of NFL experts and scouts, as it was assumed Denver would make a push to get one of the year's top quarterbacks in the draft. Anyway, like I said, no one could have accurately predicted what would happen yesterday, but here's a look at what went down. As expected by me and most of the world, quarterback Caleb Williams out of USC did get selected first overall by the Chicago Bears. Chicago also boosted their offense even more when they selected Washington wide receiver Rome Odunze with the 9th pick. The biggest shock of the night was the Atlanta Falcons taking Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. Remember, the Falcons just gave Kirk Cousins a 4-year, $180 million deal. So going quarterback in the first round is a little strange. A new record was set in this year's draft. 6 quarterbacks were taken in the first 12 picks. After Caleb Williams heading to Chicago, Washington selected Heisman Trophy winner Jaden Daniels, the Patriots went with UNC quarterback Drake May, and Minnesota drafted national champion J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. The final quarterback taken in the first round was Oregon's Bo Nix by the Broncos with the 12th pick. The Broncos are hoping they have finally found their franchise quarterback. The Chiefs also traded up to secure a new wide receiver target for Patrick Mahomes, and they got the receiver that broke the 40-yard dash record with an insane 4.21. Texas wide receiver Xavier Worthy is going to shine in the Kansas City offense. The Chiefs secured this pick after trading with the Bills, who eventually traded out of the first round entirely. The first round was a whirlwind, and rounds 2 and 3 begin today at 4 p.m., with rounds 4 through 7 starting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. The first round is the true spectacle and the most exciting part of the weekend, but I still recommend tuning in throughout the rest of the weekend to see which teams get what players. Some major talent can still be found in the later rounds, and prime example is Tom Brady being drafted 199th overall in the 6th round of the draft. And we all know what happened after that. With all that said, there's so much to watch and enjoy this weekend, whether it's hockey, basketball, the draft, baseball, golf, soccer, etc., etc. And next weekend is one of the biggest sporting events in the world, the Kentucky Derby. I'll be sure to preview that on my next show, so be sure to come right back next Friday for more news, updates, and highlights from all across the sports world. I'm Cole Young. Happy last weekend of April, and I'll see you next week.
Whether you are physically active, playing pickleball or golf, or have trouble with daily activities, Trishulo is thoughtfully crafted with your needs in mind. Our unique formula can help provide relief when you need it most. Apply a small amount to your hands, knees, neck, shoulders, or any other areas of discomfort. Gently rub in a circular motion until thoroughly dissolved. There are no artificial chemicals, just natural plant compound to nourish your body. Endorsed by athletes, loved by all, there is nothing like Trishulo Organics. Don't let pain control your life. Take action today.
Almost time to go, but before we do, I want to check out the Friday movie. It's Salmon Fishing in the Yemen with Ewan McGregor, also Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's brought to us by Hogue. It's going to be on 2 p.m. with the subtitles, 6 p.m. without the subtitles today. Enjoy that movie. It is a good one. Tomorrow on the program, we're going to say hello to Republican Club and El Toro Water District, an update from them. So that'll be a good one. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. For all of us here at Laguna Woods TV, make this day a great one.